I grew up on the east side of town, and as many people know, Wilmington has had historically issues with the west side, east side, Wilmas gangs and others. And I think in great part, in order for us to not get sucked into a lot of that, my mom and my dad didn't have a problem with us going out and giving back at our church, being involved in the youth group. I think Acción Católica, so we grew up first by St. Peter Paul Church, but then we moved closer to Holy Family Church. And growing up at Holy Family Church, we had a really active youth group. Acción Católica Juvenil was the name. It doesn't exist anymore. It's unfortunate. But growing up, we were really involved in our church. And through the church, we did a lot of this giving back. And truthfully, growing up in Wilmington, I never felt unsafe. I never felt unsafe. We used to go from basically in front of St. Peter and Paul and walk to Wilmington Middle School. Our school, Fries Avenue, was just down the street, but when it was time to go to Banning, I mean, you crossed the entire town. I never felt unsafe. I knew the existence of gangs, but I think because of the way we were brought up and because my mom and my dad were pretty tough, I never experienced in my whole life either being felt threatened or being pulled in or even tempted by getting involved in any gangs. On the east side, we had an organization that was called the Maher House. The Maher House was like the place to go. It's right across the street from Wilmington Park Elementary. You would get out of school and you would walk across the street to the Maher House, and that's where like the tutoring happened and the after-school programs would take place. During the summer, that's where the camp was. So we all grew up going to the Maher House, enjoying the programs that they offered, getting involved there. And so I didn't see it. I didn't experience it. I knew it was there, but it wasn't, I don't think I felt afraid of my community until I lost my brother, which was in 1993. And by then I was an adult person and I had never experienced violence. We just, that wasn't something. And when it happened, Miga was killed on Vermont and Pacific Coast Highway, so it's Harbor City border with Wilmington. That was probably the first time I realized how violent our community could be. And prior to that, no, I never felt unsafe growing up. I grew up painting out graffiti. That's what we did on Saturdays. It was literally, we had a red, one of those wagons, and back then the city would give, would bring you, it was called Operation Clean Streets or something to that effect, but they would bring paint brushes and paint, gloves, and so we would keep some of that in our garage, and whenever the graffiti popped up in our neighborhood, we would go out and just paint over it. It was just what we did. In a way, I guess in a way we were so embraced by the community growing up that was the least we can do. And it was something that we started doing as little kids. And when my nephews, my sister's kids started, that's what we did. The kids today will tell you, they remember me getting them up on a Saturday, and there we are going down L Street looking for graffiti to paint out, because we needed, if we didn't take ownership and we didn't respect our community, why would anybody else? And so they didn't, it was like, wait, we didn't do this graffiti, why are we painting it out? Because we're not going to put up with it. That's why.